hope is just about sort of never giving up and striving to be the best you can be and believing that there's something better around the corner. Hello, it's me, the ukulele teacher, and I share hope.
Welcome to I Share Hope, the podcast where world leaders share their real stories of hope and how you can use actionable hope to start changing your life today. And now, here's your host, Chris Williams.
John Atkins.
Chris, how's it going?
I am doing great, sir. Thank you for your time today.
No worries at all. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
You're a little quiet, but I think we're good.
Oh, no worries. I've got a mic and I can just turn it up a little. I just didn't want to blow your ears out. Is that any better?
No, you're perfect now.
Okay, I'll not touch a thing.
So all I want to do is say, grab your uke and make sure it's in tune.
Okay.
Boom. How do you so it's magic. I can't do that. Every time I get my uke, it's like I have to pick it up. It never just appears in my hands.
No, you've got to be very special indeed.
All right, so
it's like a low-level superpower. You remember how the Fonz could turn on the light by just thumping the wall?
That's right. Yeah.
That kind of thing.
All right, John. So let me give you a little background on me, since the world knows you. I was coming through.
Have we started, or is this?
Yeah, let's say we've started. How about that?
Ooh, okay.
Is this on?
Okay.
I like to keep it real and light and loose. So, you're way better in front of a camera than I am. I think you've got probably 1,000 hours in front of the camera with a ukulele in your hand.
Maybe, yeah, 300 videos at 5 minutes each.
Unbelievable.
I have no idea what the math is of that, but yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
So 2 years ago, I was in a really depressed time, and I saw your note in our show notes here, and suicidal tendencies, the whole thing, and that had been kind of a pattern in my life, and I did not have a song in my heart. And this sounds cheesy to say it. It sounds like a Disney movie right there, but I didn't have a song in my heart, and I hadn't for a long time, and I don't know what it was, but that Leonard Cohen, Hallelujah, kept popping up in front of me somehow. I kept getting exposed to it. I don't know what. So I started looking it up, and then my daughter got a ukulele, one of those little ones with it's blue and it's got the dolphin on it. Like every kid in the world has one of those, and she started playing it, and then I picked it up, and that is the first song I learned, and I learned it by Googling it, and I found the ukulele teacher, and you taught me how to do that, and I'm going to cry saying this if I'm not careful. It was the first time in decades that I'd had a song in my heart. And
wow.
I have continued playing the ukulele since then.
Chris, that's so amazing to hear. I'm sure we're going to get into it in a bit, but it's just so cool to hear stuff like that from real life people, people who actually exist in real life, because, you can't really see on here, but I'm in my bedroom. My bed is sort of 1 meter that way. My clothes are 1 meter that way.
Yeah.
My cupboard or chest of drawers or closet, whatever you guys call it, is just there. And I film, or at least to begin with, the first 3 years I was doing it, I just filmed everything on my phone.
Cool.
So basically, I was just doing these videos as a joke for fun in my bedroom on my phone, not expecting anyone to ever see them, not expecting anything to ever come from them, but just doing it for a way of sort of for fun basically, and to hear from you and from other people that I've met in real life, or get comments from, or get emails from, that it's actually sort of affected them positively in any way is just incredible to me. It's so gratifying and pleasing. I'm
so thrilled.
Thank you.
I'm glad I can thank you back. I really am. So I talked to my staff. We have a great team at I Share Hope, and this is all just for fun. We don't make. I think we've made. We don't make any money off this. To be honest, I think we've made 93 cents in 2 years doing I Share Hope. So it's definitely not a big entrepreneurial venture.
You've got to start somewhere.
Exactly. But I told them early on there were two people I wanted to talk to, because this was put together as an effort for me to talk to people who were more hopeful than me, so I could learn how to hope again. And yeah. I wanted to talk to Jake Shimbrookro, who's pretty good at ukulele.
He's pretty good, yeah. He's pretty decent.
He signed that one right there. It is.
Pretty cool, yeah.
That's upside down, isn't it?
Yeah.
There, now Jake's right side up.
No, it's upside down now.
Oh, no way.
It's okay. I saw it.
He signed that one for me, and you were the other person I wanted to talk to. You're all the two. So it's taken us about 106 people to get from him to you, but I knew we'd catch up to you eventually. So thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Oh, my pleasure. I've been looking forward to it. It's great. Thank you for having me.
We've talked to some knights and some heads of state and people in the farthest reaches of the world. We're literally doing an interview series on hope for 1,000 people. We're asking 1,000 people that are leaders in their part of the world to answer the same 5 questions about hope. And the two of you guys, because of what it's meant to me, were the top on my list. So,
well, to be honest, I read that intro on your website, and it kind of freaked me out because you were sort of saying we've spoke to knights and world leaders, and I'm like, and I'm a guy in my bedroom who sort of records ukulele lessons on his phone. So, do I really belong here? You know,
you do. You're delivering, man. You're delivering hope like crazy.
Hey, awesome.
So let's do this. So John Atkins, if anybody doesn't know out there, is the ukulele teacher. Google the ukulele teacher. If you've ever held a ukulele in your hand, you've got to Google John Atkins, or better yet, just Google the ukulele teacher. I typed in.
Just Google the ukulele teacher. That I don't think my name will come up at all.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, even in my own family, there's about 5 other John Atkins. So
get some other one.
Yeah.
I Googled ukulele and just put the letter T, ukulele T, and boom, you're at the top of the list on the Google suggestions. So you're out there everywhere. Anyway, this guy's got every imaginable song you can think of. If it's out there in pop culture or has ever been popular, John's probably showing you how to play it on his online YouTube tutorials, and it's super cool. You just literally pick up your ukulele. He shows you how to tune it, and then he shows you like every chord shape, every picking pattern, everything you need to play whatever you're hearing on the radio. And in like 5 minutes, all of a sudden you're playing a song. It's the coolest thing ever. It really is. You feel like a rock star, like instantly. Thanks to John.
That's good. Yeah, that's great that that it's working. I think I've sort of stumbled upon a kind of magic formula or something. I've certainly like whittled the lessons down. The older ones, they were a little bit longer, but I think I've got it down almost to like a fine art now of just sort of in, out, shake it all about, and you're done. So yeah, I'm glad it's working for you and for other people as well.
It is. Hundreds of thousands of people, from what I understand, it's working for. Yeah,
we're just about to hit half. Well, I mean, it's just me. I don't know why I said we, but like, you know, the channel is just about to hit 500,000 subscribers. I think.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty psyched about that. Actually.
When I found you, you were at 30 something, and then I remember telling my wife Jill, "Hey, this guy just hit 100,000 people, and he says he's quitting his job." I remember that. Like,
that was a couple of years ago now. Yeah. 30,000. So you've been around for a while. Thank you so much. That's really cool.
Yeah, maybe 3 years. I don't know, 4 years. Has it been that long? Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, in October it'll be 5 years.
Oh,
so
wow.
I haven't planned it yet, but I hope I'll do some sort of like video to like celebrate or say thank you or something. But I remember it took like a couple of years to hit 100,000, and then it took like 1 year to hit 300,000. I think so. I think it just sort of gets quicker and quicker. It's like a snowball effect or an avalanche effect, kind of. Yeah. Ukuleles are taking over the world, I think. So
they are. Yeah. They're actually all aliens, and they're going to come to life someday, right?
Well, we hope not, but who knows? Yeah.
All right, John. Can I ask you our 5 questions that we're asking each people?
I'm ready for those 5. Yeah.
All right, cool. So question 1 is, what's your definition or your favorite quote about hope?
Okay, I was thinking about this. I don't know that I've got like a definition. I haven't got a sort of Webster's dictionary defines hope as the act of hoping or being hopeful or anything like inspiration like that. But for me, hope is just about sort of never giving up and striving to be the best you can be. I mean, you know, you were saying that you were sort of struggling with depression and you were like very down a couple of years ago, and then, I mean, I'm not saying the ukulele changed your life, but you know, things sort of happened to like turn it around for you. And I mean, I was certainly in a very, you know, similar place to you when I made my first ukulele video. I was as down as I could possibly be, and I mean, I just felt unhappy with every aspect of my life. You know, I was trapped in a dead-end job. I hated the apartment that I was living in. Hated the people I was living with. I didn't really have much of a social life. I wasn't very confident in myself, and you know, it would have been easy. I mean, again, I don't want to get too down about it, but like, it would have been easy to sort of say like, oh, it's not worth it. There's no future. There's no hope. But you know, like, I didn't give up, and And again, by no means am I saying this was like a big master plan, but the point is, even at your lowest, you never know what's around the corner. So don't give up, because when I was at my lowest, I didn't think, oh, well, if I make this YouTube video in 5 years' time, it'll be my full-time job and I'll be traveling around America and doing all this other cool stuff. But by not giving up when I was at my lowest, something cool came along and, you know, my life did get better. So basically, for me, hope is about not giving up and, you know, believing that there's something better around the corner.
That's great. Well said. Well said. So playing on that, then question 2, who's shared the most hope with you? Who's really instilled that in your life? Anybody out there you could pinpoint and say, this is the number one?
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier as well, and it's really cheesy, these answers. But basically, when I was a kid, I really rooted for the good guys, you know, like people who were like purely good. So
yeah,
this is these two. I'm not ashamed of these answers, but this is like genuinely the answer for me. It's do you remember the TV show Quantum Leap?
Absolutely.
Okay, the Sam Beckett was the main character of that, and I'm
That's
not kidding
great.
when I say throughout my teens, he was like a role model to me. He was he was good for the sake of being good, because good is the right thing to do. Like, even if it's not the easy thing to do, for him it was important just to be good, to do the right thing. And I don't know why. I guess because I'm a creep or something, but that really resonated with me.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. And then in a more recent example of that kind of thing, have you ever seen the show My Name Is Earl at all?
Yes.
The guy in that, Earl,
like
he sort of made this list
like
of
twice maybe, but I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Well, basically, it's about a guy who had like done a lot of bad things, and then a lot of bad things were happening to him, and he kind of discovered karma. Whether or not you believe in it, I don't know. But like, so he basically made a list of all the bad things that had happened to him, and then went along episode by episode, like ticking each one off his list. You know, going around to the people that he'd done something bad to and making it up to them. And a lot of the times it was like very hard for him, and you know, it wasn't an easy thing to do. And believe me, I'm under no illusions it was anything other than a stupid sort of throwaway sitcom. But again, just the sort of the mindset of just kind of being good at all costs, even if it's hard, kind of appealed to me. And believe me, I'm not saying that I'm anywhere near those people, but they're the kind of people that kind of kept me on the straight and narrow.
They're the ones you want to be like.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
that's perfect. That's a great example.
Cool.
You know, again, we're 100 and something interviews in right now, and we've got a few more to go, I guess. But I have never heard somebody actually pull a TV reference out. That's really perfect.
Oh, cool. Well, you've just got 2 from me.
I got 2, and I'm glad to hear that. I don't know why that never hit my head before, but I mean, talk about influencing us as kids. The media is what does it, and that's so true. Everybody picks a movie. I mean, people pick like Oprah or Taylor Swift, or I mean, those are great, but they're not just actors, you know.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the story that comes from that. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
All right. Question.
I was worried you might be expecting something from like a book or something. I was going to like a.
You're supposed to say Mother Teresa. Come on.
Exactly.
John.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I've always watched a lot of TV, and so yeah, that was the natural answers for me. Yeah.
That's great. No, this is about you, not about anybody else. So thank you. All right. Question 3, even more about you. Take us back to a time. Can you walk us through and tell us your story? What's happened back there that's caused you to really lean into that hope you're talking about? Because honestly, right now, you're the freaking ukulele teacher. You got 500,000 people following you around, and you're making a living playing a 4-stringed instrument. I mean, it seems like you got it together. So I can't picture anything too crappy back there.
I mean, you're not kidding. Yeah, I sort of touched on it a bit earlier on, but like I said, I was just about 4.5 years ago. I was in a really fed up place. I just turned 30. And, you know, my life was not going the way I was hoping it would be. I was stuck in a job that I absolutely... I mean, I wouldn't say I couldn't stand it, but it was not challenging me. I didn't find it rewarding. I didn't enjoy it. And what was worse is that it felt like a real go-nowhere job. So, and again, I don't want to, like, criticize people who do it or anything, but, like, I had sort of been to... and again, I'm not saying this that makes me better than anyone else, but, like, you know, I'd been to university. I was sort of, I consider myself, you know, fairly intelligent, not like above average or anything.
No,
but
you're
like,
obviously very smart. Yeah.
yeah, right, okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
guess
you are.
I guess you're American. It's not bad to say that. Okay, in England you have to like, downplay these things.
No, we
but
believe we're the best at everything. So just...
absolutely, yeah, yeah. So, but I was and I was stuck in this job that basically not only was it not challenging to me, but it was also made very clear that there was never going to be any opportunity to like kind of advance or to to go any further in it. So, but because I'd been doing it for 10 years, well, I hadn't been doing that particular job. Actually, you know what? I got to go back a step here. Basically, all through my 20s, I didn't care about my job at all because I had the dream of being a professional wrestling commentator and announcer. So I spent 10 years sort of doing that at weekends and holidays and stuff.
That's really cool.
And thank you, yeah. But it was at the expense of maybe a career. Not that I ever wanted like a career.
Sure.
Anyway, so, but then by the time I'd been doing it for 10 years, I was like, well, that isn't really going anywhere. But also I've sort of spent 10 years neglecting my career. So I'm now kind of stuck in like a not particularly challenging job. It's going nowhere. I was also stuck in a really bad apartment, which because of the sort of rental market in London, I could barely afford to live there, but I also couldn't afford to move because things like agency fees and moving things and the rent that had gone up in other similar apartments in that time that I'd been there were made it too expensive to actually leave. So that was kind of weird. Yeah, I didn't really have much of a social life. I'd sort of, because again, I'd been very like obsessed with becoming like a wrestling commentator throughout my whole 20s. It was all I'd ever wanted to do, to be honest with you.
That's a great dream.
Yeah, and I did do it for like for the better part of a decade.
Good for you.
But again, I did it at the expense of, relationships, friendships, career. Again, not that I'm like a career-driven guy at all, but all the things that maybe most
the normal stuff.
Yeah, if there's such a thing as normal. Most normal people have spent their 20s sort of getting their act together, and I'd spend it kind of, I don't want to say chasing a stupid dream, but like doing what I wanted to do. And then all of a sudden I kind of realized, I'm turning 30 and actually that's never going to happen. I'm not living where I want to be. I'm kind of not very healthy. I haven't got any friends. I haven't got any social life. I hate my job. And I was as low as you can get. Like I really was absolutely very, very down and sort of upset about everything really. And for whatever reason, a friend of mine at the job that I was at the time bought a ukulele himself and posted a couple of videos of him playing it on YouTube. And he was really good. He's really good at it, actually. He's really, really good. And he, unlike me, he's like a very sort of cool guy, very sort of, good looking, sort of cool, could sing very well. Again, very much unlike me. And he just sent me these two videos and I was like, wow, he's very cool. He can play very well. He can sing very well. But there's something about like a tiny ukulele that no matter how cool or good at it you are, it's faintly ridiculous. It's sort of inherently amusing.
Yeah.
And I think he thought he was like kind of the king of cool doing it. But I kind of thought, I don't care how cool you are. When you've got like a tiny ukulele in your hands, it's always going to be a little bit ridiculous, a little bit funny.
Yeah.
So just for a joke, because I'm always the kind of person to both do anything for a joke and also to take whatever joke I'm doing just a little bit too far. I went out and bought a ukulele. Like I spent £40 on it, which I guess is about $60,
Yeah.
which actually for me at the time was not a small amount of money.
Right.
But I set up a YouTube channel. I made a stupid video, and it was called like the Ukulele Teacher. It was how to play 100 songs with 3 chords, whatever. And it was sort of, I mean, it was basically taking the mickey. What do you say? Making fun of this guy at my work.
Yeah.
And all I ever did, I posted it on my Facebook page and I sent it to him and kind of forgot about it. But whilst the video had been sort of made in fun,
Yeah.
it was actually it was technically correct. It was education,
Yeah.
relevant. Yeah. So for some reason, people actually started sharing it around, I guess. And when I checked it sort of a month later, a few weeks later, instead of like sort of no one having watched it or like 6 people having watched it, I think like hundreds or thousands of people had watched it and people had subscribed to the channel and left comments on it, which was also like amazingly gratifying. And basically they said, oh, can you make more of these videos? Can you do another one? Can you teach us to play this song or that song? And I was like, yeah, I guess, no one's ever asked me to do anything again before. So, so I just started making these videos And again, at the time, I had like a 10-year-old laptop and my iPhone 4, so it was like going back a bit, and it took me, and I no background in editing or anything, so it took me like a long time to make these videos, like a day or more to make them, because I was sort of doing it on this massive laptop that would overheat every hour, so I'd have to like put it to one side so I didn't like burn my, lap or whatever, and so I would do it like once a month if I had time, and after about a year, I had maybe, I don't know, 10 videos, and after 2 years, I had like sort of 20 or so videos, and then I got an email from Google, because things were a little bit different at that time, and it said, because you've like reached a certain amount of subscribers or views, I forget what it was, because I know it's all changed now, you're now eligible to monetize your videos if you want to do that. And I was kind of thinking, well, I don't think I really do, to be honest, because like the adverts annoyed me on YouTube, and I sort of thought I'd rather like not annoy my viewers, and I've got a job, I don't need the money especially. So I wasn't even I just sort of ignored it for a bit. And then I thought, well, I guess it's an experiment, it wouldn't hurt, just to see what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. And I think like the first month I did it, I made like $10 or something.
Hey, that's better than 93 cents.
Well, that's true, actually. Yeah, that's true. But that's after like 2 years of I know you've been doing it a little longer, maybe, but yeah. But I sort of thought, well, if I could make $10 off like one video or two videos or whatever, however many videos it was that I'd monetized, then if I could make, basically I figured out if I could make 600 videos, I could live comfortably off it. And at that time I was making one a month, but I figured if I could make 2 a week for, I've lost the math now, but for however many years it was, then it might be something that I could actually make a go of, which is, just thinking back now, that's so ridiculous, because I don't know why I even had that train of thought.
I think that's really smart and very entrepreneurially intuitive. Like, you just had it,
But that's not me at all, though. Like, I don't know where that came from, because I'm just not normally that kind of person. But for whatever reason, like I said, I wasn't really enjoying my job, and the money was sort of, it had got like a little bit of, it wasn't great, but I've never really spent much money. So, because most of the things that I've done for fun or as hobbies have ended up being things that I've made money out of eventually, like the wrestling. I did that for 10 years while I had a full-time job. So I never spent a penny. I'd have been going to these shows as a fan if I hadn't been on them. But instead, every weekend, instead of like paying to go to these shows and paying to watch them and everything, I was getting paid to do them, or making even like a small amount of money. Most of it I had sort of saved up. So I was kind of financially not secure by any means, but financially okay-ish. That I basically had a word with my job, and they said I could go down to 3 days a week if I wanted to. So I went from making 1 video a month to 2 videos a week.
Okay.
And after the next year, I had like an extra 100 videos.
Okay.
So I went from having like sort of 20 or 30 videos on my channel to like 130. And then the next year, well, now I've got nearly 300, I think. So, and then after that year of making 100 videos, I was actually already in a place where I could live off it. Again, not comfortably, but just about live off it.
Wow.
And and so I gave up my job entirely. So now it's been just over a year that being the ukulele teacher has been it. It's all I do. It's all I do, and it's amazing.
That's a really cool story.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's
I hope really too much, actually.
No, it's fantastic. It's so cool. So do you teach students in a class setting at all? Like, do you ever have a kid like that comes every week for 30 minutes?
No. Honestly, when I say it's all I do, it is all I do. I don't think I have the discipline to teach someone in real life. For a while, I started offering Skype lessons on YouTube.
Fair enough.
Because I thought, that'll be like a good way of making a bit of extra cash.
It makes sense to me,
I did one Skype lesson, and it was just a disaster. So, because it's easy for me to... What people don't realize, and again, I'm not saying that I make it look easy, but maybe I make it look easier than it is for my videos. But you see the finished 4 minutes. But when I film a video, I'll be talking for like sort of 25, 30 minutes. And I cut down all the mistakes, all the ums and the ahs, and the maybe I'll try it this way, maybe I'll try it that way. And I just cut out every single wrong thing. And there's no one talking back. So I'm just going, put your finger here, do this, do that. It should sound like this. Yeah. And no one's going, hey, hang on a sec. Put my finger where? What do I do? It doesn't sound like... So when there's actually like a real life person on the other end of the camera going, can you slow down? Can you do that? What is it? What's happening? And I can't reach through the screen, and I can't go, oh, just do this, do that.
Yeah.
Like if they say no or I can't, then I had no answer for that really. So it was not for me, you know. It was not for me. So no, I don't do any teaching, and I don't really want to be honest with you either. So
I think it's just so cool that you're teaching a musical instrument 100% on YouTube, and never face-to-face interaction. It's just it's a whole new world, man. I mean, this is, who would have thought? Our grandparents would have been like, what? You know?
Grandparents, my young adult self would have been like, what? You know, like 10 years ago, there was no, I guess 10 years ago, YouTube had just started, but I don't think anyone was making a living off it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was at school, I didn't say, oh, I'd like to be an online music teacher. I had no idea what I wanted to be fair, except like a wrestling commentator or something. I mean, it's amazing just how quickly that it's all kind of sprung into life, and how things have changed. You know, technology has changed our lives.
Yeah.
Or my life.
Okay.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
In ways I wouldn't have thought possible even, 5 years ago, let alone my grandparents' lifetime.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so as a percentage of the population, you represent, here's how the survey works. Really, you're representing 8 million people. So every 8 million people on the planet get one representative on our 1,000 people survey. You know.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
how
I
it
was
works.
wondering.
There's 8 billion folks on the planet, and we got to have 1,000 people talking. So for the people out there who spend a whole lot of time looking at a computer screen and living in a very virtual world, how do you share hope on a daily basis? Obviously, you do the ukulele teacher, but you know, how do you share hope when you're just doing your normal life? What do you do?
Well, yeah, it's funny you said that, because like on the computer screen, I do get a lot of comments that are kind of very nice. And again, you opened the podcast by saying that you'd sort of, got something out of watching my lessons.
Absolutely.
And that's really cool for me to hear. And I think that in my day-to-day life, I kind of, I try and like spread that around a bit. So, I don't want to say I'm the worst person to ever come to for advice, but I can tell you, whenever anyone comes to me for advice, my advice is always quit your job. It's always, because like I get so many people, and I'm talking about friends and family and stuff, and I know not everyone can do it, but whenever someone comes up to me and says, oh, I'm a bit fed up with my job, or oh, I'm really enjoying my music, or is there any way I can take it further, or whatever, I'm like, definitely do it. Definitely take that vacation. Definitely quit the job. Definitely chase the dream. And I don't know if that's necessarily always healthy advice, but it's always my advice. I'm always encouraging people to sort of, leave the office and go traveling and do that sort of impossible thing that you would never have the guts to do otherwise, because I did it, and, look what happened to me. So I think I'm just kind of spreading just my story is inspirational. Is that too...
Inspirational is a great word.
I think it's inspirational, like genuinely, because, like I said, I was like as down as you can be, and now my life has just changed. I mean, beyond recognition, in just like 3 or 4 years, nearly 5 years, by taking that leap, by quitting my job, by doing something a bit off the beaten track, a bit unusual, and I just try and encourage as many people as I can to do something similar. I'm not saying start a YouTube channel and become an online ukulele teacher, but, go traveling around America for 6 months if that's what you want to do. Yeah. Go and be a singer, or take trampoline lessons, or whatever it is that you want to do. You're not... I know that... Wow, this is going to sound a little bit like sort of conspiracy theorist now, but we're not like beholden to like the big corporations, or we're not chained to the 9 to 5 day job or anything. We can do what we want. We have one life, so do what you want to do and make the most of it, because you only get one. And that's kind of my philosophy, and I think I try and share that a little bit on my day-to-day life, if not on my videos.
You definitely do. I love that. That's a good answer. Okay, question 5. By the way, I think I should start the kazoo teacher. That should be my thing.
Really? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know what? I haven't checked, but I bet there's one on there.
It probably is.
There is one on there, because like last year, someone asked me if I could play the spoons for something.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I've actually never played them before. And the first thing I did, I went to YouTube and put it in how do you play the spoons. And there's a channel with like sort of 10 how to play the spoons videos and all different techniques you can do for playing the spoons. And again, I've used it for like, how do you sew a button back on your pants? And
yeah, that's true.
How do you change a tire on your bike? And So if there isn't one, you should absolutely start it up. But all I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised if that market is already cornered by the kazoo teacher somewhere. So good luck with it, though.
I need to interview the kazoo teacher.
Absolutely, yeah. Put him on the list.
All right. Question 5. So when we get done talking, I've got the rest of my day in front of me. You've got part of a day. Our listeners, people are listening in over at this point 60-something countries and watching this thing. And what do we do next? So we're all about to finish up our day after hanging out with you. Give me the simple ABCs, the 1, 2, 3s for what we should do to start sharing hope with ourselves or someone else.
Well, that's a great question, and one I haven't got a prepared answer for, I guess. I just listened to, randomly, well, when you contacted me, I just picked 2 episodes at random of the podcast to check out. Mm-hmm. And oddly, both of them were people based in London.
Really?
One was a comedian who lived in Brixton.
He's tons of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
and
Chauner,
the other one,
yeah.
Who was it? Sorry.
His last name was Chauner, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy was a Canadian living in London, doing something called the Kindness Offensive.
Yeah.
And that actually really inspired me.
Have you ever seen that? I mean,
no, but I want to check it out.
Yeah,
I only
seriously.
listened to it yesterday, but I was thinking I've got to check this out. And it's based in London, so I've got no excuse not to now. So. But basically, anyway, the Kindness Offensive guy, his thing was just sort of pay it forward. Even, smiling at someone can cheer them up. Being nice to someone is enough. So just, you don't have to go out there and sort of change the world and sort of go, I'm going to go and build a school in Africa or, I don't know, donate £1 million to charity or whatever. You can just go out and smile at someone or say hello to someone and just pass on the good vibes, because I think it's just about making people feel better about themselves. That's what I try and sadly probably sometimes fail to do. But I think just if you can make someone feel better about themselves, then that's making the world a better place. And then if someone feels better about themselves, they'll make other people feel better about themselves. And, it's all about making people feel good, I think. So I think that's my answer.
That's a good answer. I like that answer. Thank you. That's really cool. David Chauner, I think, is the comedian, and the Kindness Offensive guy. I want to find his name real quick in case people are listening and want to check those out, because those two really are good.
Robert Williams was the guy.
Robert Williams, yes,
yeah.
Good call there. Okay, awesome, thank you. Yeah, those are great ones to reference, and I'm glad you brought those up. They're good Londoners, and they're great examples of sharing hope, just like you are. I think it's the people from London. You guys, you just must be just full of hope over there. You drink a lot of tea, I guess that.
Actually, I don't drink tea or coffee, so I don't think it's the tea. But
every video you look like and you sound like you just finished 3 Red Bulls. I can't imagine how you do this without caffeine, because you're on fire right then.
I know, but the weird thing is, it's I don't want to say it's fake, but it's the second the camera turns off, I'm like, oh. It's I'm definitely on for the camera. I'll sort of be sitting up straight. Hey, it's me, the ukulele teacher. Here's how to play this. And then at the end, I'm like, glad that's over. It's just 20 minutes of very condensed energy, and then I'm just slumped in the laptop for the rest of the day editing. So it's just short bursts for me.
I love it. You do a good job at it. All right, we have each of our guests introduce themselves on the podcast. So when this thing starts, we're going to take this clip and stick it to the beginning. And so can you introduce yourself and say, I share hope? So I would say, hi, I'm Chris. If I was the guest, hi, I'm Chris Williams, an entrepreneur, and I share hope. You should probably say, hey, it's the ukulele teacher.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'll shut up and let you do your thing.
Okay. Hello, it's me, the ukulele teacher, and I share hope.
I love that.
Is that okay?
I love it. I wish you had some hope that you could grab your hope.
So grab your hope. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what that would look like, though. I've never thought about what is
I guess
hope.
It would just be the word in a kind of rainbow formation.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah. So grab your hope, bing, and little I don't know. Yeah.
It's a great idea. Yeah. All right. So the first time you thought, okay, I'm going to go back. So you produced this first YouTube video. These are just dumb questions. These aren't on the list. I haven't asked anybody else these questions. These are new. The first time you produce your video to make fun of your buddy at work, and he sees it. I've got 10 questions to pop in my head. What does he think now? He gave you this awesome idea. Is he come on, man, let's share?
Honestly, I have actually, well, again, it goes back to what I was saying before about like I try and like encourage people to take that leap, to make that jump. And I sort of said to him, man, because he was doing the exact same thing as me, and he was actually in a similar position to me, like a really intelligent guy, really cool, smart, sort of funny, friendly, but basically, without wanting to downplay him at all, but like sort of stuck in this kind of dead end job where he could be doing so much more. And I said to him, look, I started this as a joke, and look what happened to me. I can't believe like you're still in this job, man. You've got to like want more or do more. And I'm not saying like do the ukulele teacher too or do whatever, but I'm just saying you can do more about it. And for whatever reason, he's still kind of there and still doing the same job. So, but believe me, I've honestly like tried with that guy in particular. I sort of said, you could be doing so much more than you're doing.
I keep encouraging.
But he's not bitter about it. He's not like sort of jealous or anything. He's pretty happy where he is. But,
that's great. Yeah, I mean, the point's being happy where you're at, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, so you go back and you're going to edit. You finally realize, hey, this is catching on. I've got to make another video. Is the next video a lot more nerve-wracking because you realize this one counts? People are paying attention.
You would think, but it's not been too bad because like I said, it was a very like gradual thing for me. So it wasn't like I was like, oh right, people love these videos, I'd better make 100. It was like, oh, people liked it, I'll make another one next week or next month. So it wasn't like kind of huge pressure. The pressure, if anything, is a bit more now, just because now that I know people, like when it started, I was just doing whatever I wanted, random songs. And to be fair, luckily most of them did seem to be fairly popular ones. But if it was left to me, I'd be doing all kinds of terrible music. I don't want to say I've got a bad taste in music, but I haven't got what you would call like the most mainstream taste in music. So I'd be doing sort of, They Might Be Giants B-sides or just obscure Japanese pop songs or whatever. But when it started, it was quite gradual. So I was sort of just flattered that people were watching. I was trying to take requests. I wasn't sort of too concerned about it. Whereas now that I know people are watching, I kind of feel a little bit more pressured that I've got to choose a song that people are going to like.
How do you do that? You just go off the pop charts and pick the top 20?
No, well, it's so weird you should say that, Chris, because I have, when I was a kid...
Hey, how's your time right now? Are you still good?
Yeah, it's great. Okay. No, sorry, I thought my phone was on silent and it just beeped, so I'm sorry. I just turned it off again. But when I was a kid, I knew what was cool. I knew what the hit songs were. I knew what was at number one in the charts. I knew who was popular. Now I'm like a grown-up. I don't know what's cool anymore. So every request I get, I have to like check it on Google or YouTube and be like, well, that's got like 1 million hits. Yeah, I'll do it. Or that's got like 1,000 hits. No, I won't do it.
I see.
But I feel bad about that in a way because I kind of, like when I started, it was just about the fun of making the videos, the fun of playing the ukulele, the fun of teaching the songs. Whereas now I'm kind of making a living off it. I'm kind of like, well, I do like that song, but if only 100 people are going to watch it, then it's kind of not really financially viable for me to do it and like turn off subscribers. So there is a little bit more of like the business head.
Yeah, the business pressure is there. It's real.
Yeah.
I get that.
But no pressure because again, like I said, I did wrestling commentary and presenting and stuff for 10 years. So I am pretty comfortable being on front of a camera and talking to people and being on screen. I'm sort of okay. I'm not saying I'm the best in the world at it, but like I can do it.
Yeah,
and so
obviously.
I'm not like nervous about it or anything.
That's great.
I guess if anything, I'm more just nervous about like running out of songs, I suppose. Like what happens when I've done all the songs there are? But I guess there's always
somebody will make another one next week. I'm pretty sure.
That's what I'm hoping. What I'm hoping. Yeah. There's got to be hundreds of songs in the world, so it'll be a few more years until I've run out, I guess.
Do any of the original artists ever reach out and say, "Hey, I love the cover"?
Man, yes, and I'm so glad you asked me that because there's 3 that I can think of, and one of them was I did a cover of "Dancing in the Moonlight" by King Harvest. I don't know if you.
I've watched it and played it. Thanks.
Oh, cool! But they left a comment on it, like their official channel left a comment and said, "Oh, they quoted their lyrics. They said, oh, you're really, I can't even remember what the lyrics are now, but they said you're something. It's a fine and natural sight. You're uking at night or something."
Awesome.
And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The best one for me is Sixpence None the Richer, Kiss Me.
Yep.
Which one, it's just like my favorite video that I've done, but it's like one of my favorite songs. And I tweeted the lady, Lee Nash, who was like the singer of Sixpence None the Richer, and I kind of said like, I mean, I didn't say this, but I kind of thought, well, she's like a big star. I'm probably pretty busy, but I got nothing to lose by just sending it to her. So I said, oh, would you mind checking this out? I think you might like it, and I really put a lot of time into it. And she tweeted it out and said, oh, I love it. Thanks so much. It's really good. And followed me back on Twitter. So that was like really exciting.
Whoa, that's cool.
But then a few months later, just out of the blue, she randomly started tweeting me going, hey, my son's enjoying your videos, learning ukulele, and sent me like some photos of him watching my videos playing ukulele. So that's like, you know, completely unprompted. So that was like super cool.
Wow.
Because like I said, that was like one of my favorite songs when I was a bit younger. And so now that we're like kind of, I'm not saying like pals or anything, but it's just cool that
there's a relationship going there. Yeah.
Yeah. Had that kind of connection. That was like, and it's just stuff like that has just made it so much worthwhile doing these things. Like, again, another one of my sort of, I say another one, I haven't used any yet, but one of my like inspirational quotes that I have made up, that I didn't have a chance to drop into the conversation earlier, is one of my beliefs from doing this is that there's no wasted creative endeavors. Because even if I do make a video and only like 100 people watch it, or no one watches it, or 1 million people watch it, one of the people who watches it might be someone who could do something, or I might learn one thing from doing that video, or I might, you know, there's so many things that have happened from just, like each video I've made, I've tried to make a little bit better. Like the first one, I made it in the dark in my phone, in my bedroom, and it looks terrible. And so the next one, I was like, okay, next time I'll try and do it when there's daylight. And then the next time I was like, okay, next time I'll try and do this. Next time I'll try and do that. And hopefully each video is like slightly, even if it's like just marginally, but better than the last one. Yeah. So like none of it is wasted. I'm always like kind of thinking about stuff that I could do better or incorporate into a video or a lesson or something. So there's stuff like that. Also, there's some kids TV presenters who I used to watch when I was a kid, when I was like a student, because they kind of had this sort of appealing to like little kids and also like kind of grown-ups as well thing going on, so they're like pretty like subversive. And they've tweeted me a bunch of times just saying like, hey, just learning from your video for this song or that song, or just played this song for my kids, thanks you teacher for doing that. So that's like
man, that's so cool,
staggering to me. Like I love it, you know, it's so exciting to me. And again, like I'm not saying we're like best pals or going to go out for a drink or anything, but just the fact that like people that I sort of looked up to, and I really did, like it wasn't like I was like kind of, oh, who cares, it's only like some kids TV presenters. I'm like really into that kind of stuff. I've always been a fan of that kind of thing. I was genuinely a fan of them. Dick and Dom, by the way, in case you're wondering who it is. Okay. So the fact that like one of them like tweets me every now and again and says, hey, just watched your video for Build Me Up Buttercup or whatever, is just really staggering.
Man, and that's cool.
And the best one that I probably should have mentioned in the bulk of the interview, I guess, but it didn't come up for some reason, is Mark Ronson, who did Uptown Funk.
Yeah.
I got contacted at the end of last year by what I thought was just like some kids, but it turned out to be like a massive production company and PR company saying like, oh, hey, we're doing a little film about people who make cover versions on YouTube, and we saw your Uptown Funk video. Could we interview you? And
no way.
Yeah, and I just thought it was like very vague and there was no details or anything. So I just kind of thought, well, and I always try and say yes, because again, like I said, there's no wasted creative endeavors, and it's all about giving back. Like so many people have kind of been cool to me or looked after me or just done nice things for me, that when people contact me and say, can I interview you, can I do this, whatever, and I'm not saying it happens all the time, but again, if people want to like interview me for schoolwork or whatever, I'll always, if I've got time, I'll always try and say yes, because why not? You know, it doesn't cost me anything. So so anyway, I just got this random email, and it was written kind of weirdly, and I just thought it was like a couple of students or something. So I said, yeah, sure, why not? Let me know when you want to do it or whatever. And they said, oh, cool, we'll send a car around to your house this evening. And I was like, okay, this is a bit of an unusual thing. And basically, they ended up taking me to this 5-star hotel in London with 5 other YouTube people who I'd never met before.
Wow.
And then the next morning, we got in this minibus, and they drove us to Abbey Road Studios, you know, from the Beatles.
Absolutely.
And they dropped us off. And it was all being filmed, by the way, from the next morning when we were on the minibus.
Yeah.
And so we got in, they said, oh, okay, here's your surprise. We've like booked Abbey Road Studios for you for the day, and we want you to record a new version of Uptown Funk together.
Oh my
And
goodness.
me and these other guys start like jamming for a little bit and sort of because again, like I'm playing ukulele. There's a guy with electric guitar. There's a cello, a violin, a singer. It's quite an eclectic mix.
Wow.
So we're kind of trying to find our groove, seeing how we all fit in together. And after about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, Mark Ronson walks through the door and goes like, "Hey guys, I'm here to help you record it and mix it and produce it." So that was like sort of insane. So we spent the day with him. I spent the day with Mark Ronson in Abbey Road Studios recording a cover version of Uptown Funk that they then played at the Brit Awards 6 months later in the
kidding?
ITV1, yeah, which like 16 million people watched. I think, give or take, that's what they told us it was last year.
Whoa.
So you just never know what's around the corner. And that was, honestly, it was one of the last ones, but that was a video that I filmed on my phone in my bedroom about a year earlier. And again, like I say, that was actually, because there's only 2 chords in that song, it was a fairly quick video, and I only made it because I'd got a load of requests for it. I hadn't heard the song before, but I was getting loads and loads of requests for it. So I checked it out, I watched the video, I made a little lesson about it, and then I kind of moved on, because I'm making 2 a week, so I don't like kind of check them too often, except every now and again I'll look back and be like, oh, I could do that again, or do that differently. But basically I'd made that lesson and forgotten about it. A year later I get a random email from some random people, and it turns out to lead to that. So yeah, it's just another like it's just I just never know what's going to happen next with this thing. And again,
so
it's not
you
that
leave your IT job and you end up with him in Abbey Road Studios.
Abbey Road Studios, yeah. It's
that's a crazy journey.
It is crazy. And another crazy thing that's happened to me, which again I was going to try and like enter into the bulk of the story, but I didn't.
Man, we're still in the bulk of the story. People are still watching and listening.
Okay, well, I'm moving to. Well, I'm getting married in a couple of months. Basically.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much. Yeah. About this time, what is it now? Where are we in now? June. Yeah, about this time last year, a little later than last. Well, whatever. About this time last year, I just split up with someone, and I was, like I said, I'm like 30 something now. I'm 35 now. Actually, nearly 36. So, and I was kind of, again, like I'm like very happy with like how YouTube and stuff was going, but personally, I was like kind of pretty like upset about it. It was like kind of, I'm not getting any younger, and I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get, and like maybe that was my like last shot at, I don't want to say last shot at happiness, but I was, again, like it's very easy to like sort of slide back into these kind of depressive ways of thinking or whatever, and I was sort of starting to get kind of down about it, and when I say get down, I was like pretty sort of upset about stuff.
Yeah, it's a tough time.
But then I was kind of thinking, so a couple of people said to me, well, your job is the ukulele teacher. All you need is your laptop, your camera, and a ukulele. You don't need to be in this apartment in London, stuck here in the cold, in the dark, in the wet. You can go anywhere. Huh. So I basically ended up booking like a 7-week flight to and from LA, like a return ticket. I booked it on the Monday evening and flew out on the Wednesday morning.
No way. Was that fast? I remember when you came to America, I actually emailed you.
I know, and I'm sorry it didn't work out, but I didn't get down to Memphis, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a lot of ground to cover in 7 weeks.
I know. Tennessee, like I've always wanted to go to Tennessee. It's one of the, I don't want to say one of the few states, but I've probably been to at least half the states, but I've never been to Tennessee, and it's really absolutely on my list. So honestly, honestly, if it ever happens, I absolutely will come and say hi. But yeah, I didn't get around to Tennessee that time, but I did get to a bunch of other places. Like I said, I just bought on a whim, like a 7-week round trip to and from LA, just a flight.
That's cool.
And I had a friend who I knew from university who lives in LA, and I basically rang him up on the Tuesday and said, "Oh, you said I could stay with you if I was ever in town. Well, I'll see you tomorrow morning. Is that okay?" and he was cool about it. To be fair, like I mean, like it's not like a massive house or anything, but he just let me like sleep on his couch or
That's
sofa.
all you need. Yeah,
that's all I need. All I need. And my plan, honestly, was to basically just like lie on the beach for like 2 months and not do anything. But I, for whatever reason, I thought, well, I guess I've got like quite a few viewers in America, and I posted a little photo on Instagram of me on Santa Monica Beach, and someone just posted in the comments. They said, "Oh, you must be in LA for the International Ukulele Festival that's this weekend." And I was like, actually, I had no idea about it, but it just turned out to be like sort of 4 days after I'd arrived in LA, there was like a big ukulele festival going on. So I went to that, and I met a bunch of people, and that was like really cool. Because again, I'd only gone as like a punter, as like a fan or a customer or whatever.
Yeah.
But people were coming up to me there and sort of saying, "Oh, hey, I watch your videos. Nice to meet you and stuff." And people took photos and things. So that was like really cool.
That's
and then
really
after that,
fun.
I thought, well, what I'll do, I'll put like just a little thing up on Instagram and a little video saying, "Hey, I'm in America. If anyone wants to hang out, here's my email address." And just expecting maybe like 1 or 2 people would email. And basically from that day onwards, I was meeting someone every day. And I went to Austin and DC and Virginia and Vegas and Orlando and then back to LA for a week or 2. And I was just flying all over the country doing this random stuff. And it kind of sounds, again, now I'm looking back, I'm sort of thinking, what was I thinking? But it worked out, and it was just really like such an amazing time. And it just, again, much like your sort of, what you said to me at the beginning of the call, it just showed me that I might just be one guy in his bedroom on his own talking to a mobile phone. But on the other end of that mobile phone, when it goes up on YouTube, there are literally millions of people watching these videos. I mean, I think it's about 2 million people a month watching them. So there are millions of people actually watching them. And it's real people. It's not just like numbers on a screen. It's real people.
Yeah.
And I met a bunch of them, and I did amazing different things. I saw different parts of the country. I went to different music nights and saw the White House and did just all kinds of just stuff that I would never have done, because I could have been sitting here in my bedroom in London, and again it gets like super dark and it's raining now actually, and it's just I've just been getting more and more depressed. But I was like, no, I don't need to do that. I can go anywhere. And so I did. And somewhere on that journey, and not through Ukulele Teacher, which is really cool, but I met my soon-to-be wife.
No way.
Yeah. So the plan
cool.
is to, I'm not sure much of what I can say, but basically the plan is we're going to get married in October, and I'm hoping to move out to LA to live with her. So
you're going to live in LA?
That is the plan right now, yeah.
Wow, man. I'm so excited for you.
I'm staggered. So again, like all of these things, like I say, like 5 years ago, I was dead-end job, depressed, no friends, hated my flat, my life, no girlfriend, no social life, just absolutely as down as you can be. 5 years later, I'm like getting married. I've got a job that I love. I don't have to go to an office. I'm moving to LA. It's just, I hang out with Mark Ronson at Abbey Road Studios. Like all kinds of crazy things have just happened, and it was all from. I don't want to say it was all from one thing. I mean, I guess if you want to turn it back to your podcast, it was all from hope and never giving up, and believing there's something better around the corner. And so again, that's my answer to anyone. It's just stick with it. Just don't give up. There's if you put again, I'm not saying if you put the work in, something good will happen, but because again, who knows what's going to happen? But that's the thing. No one knows what's going to happen. So just stick with it and persevere and never give up and take those stupid risks and those crazy chances and those leaps of faith. And honestly, I did, and look what happened to me. So yeah.
And I want to add to that. Hope is. I'm glad for the thought of hope there, but it's also you being you. I mean, you were just being you, having some goofy joke you wanted to play on your buddy, and you took it farther than most would, and you were really silly, and you just cranked it all the way up, and you're just being you. And it's so cool how being yourself and all of us just be ourselves, and things start working, because I mean, you really are awesome, And anybody listening, you're awesome too, and be you. Who you're made to be is who people will love to see. So I'm glad, John, that you just did your thing.
I'm glad as well. I mean, I'm grateful. I mean, honestly, I'm grateful every day that I did it, and I don't want to stop anytime soon. So yeah.
Last question: what's your favorite thing to play on the ukulele? And your favorite ukulele? You have I see tons of ukuleles. They go ding, and they're like, "Where do you get that one? Does people just send them to you in the mail, or what?"
Yeah, actually, yeah, people do.
I picture you having one room in your apartment that you sleep in, and like another room that's just floor to ceiling ukuleles just stacked and piled, and like you have to cram the door shut.
It's not quite that bad, but no, if you looked under my bed, that's basically under my bed. It's just like there's a bunch of ukuleles. But the trouble is I sort of give them away. I figured, because at one point people were sending them to me all the time, so I thought, okay, I'm going to give away like one a month in a competition that I run for my Patreon page, and one
That's
to
right.
people who pledge me a certain amount on Patreon once they've done it for 6 months or whatever.
Yeah.
And I thought, this will help me get rid of them. And now I'm actually kind of running out a little bit. So I need to like hold off a little bit, or at least I've had to actually buy some ukuleles, which is something I'm not used to doing. But I wouldn't say that I found my dream ukulele yet, actually. So I've got a couple recently. There's
that's beautiful.
Flight music that are really good, and I can actually never tell which is which. But one is mango wood and one is zebra wood.
Those are gorgeous.
They're both really nice. So I don't want to get rid of them.
What's your favorite thing to play?
My favorite thing to play is the Super Mario Brothers theme when I can remember it.
I've seen that video on
Have
your.
you? Okay.
Yes. That's your favorite thing. All the stuff you know how to play. 300 covers out there.
That's the thing, though. I don't know how to play any of those songs. It's like, without wanting to sound too depressing, it's almost like a factory line. Like,
yeah, I get that.
Like my days, I get up, I learn the song, I record the lesson, I forget the song. So I haven't got 300 songs in here.
Yeah.
They're
Okay, I see. You can't just stand up at karaoke night and start rocking a song.
By no means, no. But the
You're
Mario
like
one,
you're a big kid. I love it. Like you're just Super Mario Brothers theme. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's a way better answer than saying some Taylor Swift song.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
no, I like playing like stuff that you can like show off your chops a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So will you play us out?
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers.
Hang on. Yeah, let me see if I can remember, because it's been a while since I played it, actually. Hang on a sec. How's that? Not too bad. You know?
That's so cool. Man, I'm thrilled. Thank you very much for your time.
Chris, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
This has been one of my most favorite interviews.
You've just listened to I Share Hope. If you're ready to make a change, head to our website at isharehope.com and claim your free copy of the top 10 actions of hope from world leaders to use hope in your own life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.